Imagine waking up to a world where your neighbors, friends, and family aren't themselves, snarling, mindless, driven by an insatiable urge to attack. This isn't a movie or a game. It's terrifyingly real. What if rabies, the age-old disease we've studied for centuries, mutated into something far deadlier? A virus that spreads faster, alters behavior, and turns humans into living predators. Panic would erupt, cities would collapse, and survival would become a daily gamble. From science labs to the streets, we're about to explore the chilling possibility of a rabies-fueled zombie apocalypse and what it could mean for humanity. The rabies we know. Rabies is no stranger to terror. This viral disease caused by the Lissa virus has been haunting humanity for thousands of years. It's nearly 100% fatal when symptoms appear, making it one of the deadliest pathogens on Earth. Transmitted through bites, usually from infected animals like dogs, bats, or raccoons, rabies attacks the nervous system, hijacking the brain and turning its host into a vessel of aggression and confusion. Picture this: a single bite from an infected dog, and within weeks, you're not you anymore. Your mind unravels, you foam at the mouth, and an uncontrollable rage takes over. That's rabies today, but what if it got worse? Rabies spreads through saliva, latching onto nerve cells and creeping toward the brain. Once there, it causes inflammation, leading to symptoms like fever, agitation, hydrophobia, fear of water, and violent behavior. The virus is a master manipulator, compelling its host to bite others, ensuring its spread. In 2025, the World Health Organization reports about 59,000 human rabies deaths annually, mostly in regions with limited healthcare. But here's the kicker: rabies is preventable with vaccines and post-exposure treatment, if caught in time. The mutation, from rabies to zombie plague. Now let's crank up the stakes. What if rabies evolved? Viruses mutate constantly. Tiny genetic tweaks can turn something manageable into a global nightmare. Influenza, SARS-CoV-2, and other RNA viruses have shown us how small changes in a genome can make a pathogen more contagious, more deadly, or more resistant to treatment. Now imagine rabies, already a virus that hijacks the brain and drives aggression, mutating in ways that push it far beyond what we know. What if rabies didn't just spread through bites? What if it went airborne, clinging to droplets in the air, or lingered on surfaces for hours, infecting millions within days? Picture it: one cough, one sneeze, and the infection leaps from person to person like wildfire. A rabies variant with flu-like transmissibility could circle the globe before anyone realizes the danger. Increased contagion would be just the start. Today's rabies incubates slowly, taking weeks or even months before symptoms appear. A mutated strain could cut that timeline dramatically, turning a patient symptomatic in hours or days, leaving hospitals flooded, doctors helpless, and public panic spiraling. History offers chilling precedent. The 1918 influenza killed 50 million people in mere months because it acted too fast for societies to respond. But speed alone isn't enough to terrify. Enhanced aggression would make this virus truly monstrous. Rabies already rewires neural circuits to make hosts lash out, bite, and attack without inhibition. Imagine that power amplified. Infected humans sprinting through streets, clawing and biting relentlessly, driven by a brain chemistry rewired for violence. NIH studies from 2023 highlight how rabies manipulates aggression pathways. Now picture that effect supercharged, a nightmare beyond comprehension. And then there's resistance. Current vaccines and post-exposure treatments save lives, but a super mutated strain could sidestep our defenses entirely. The rise of antibiotic-resistant superbugs like MRSA proves pathogens can outsmart human ingenuity, and a hyper-rabies could do the same on a viral scale. Can you see it? Cities overrun with infected, ambulances jammed in gridlocked streets, hospitals collapsing under the weight of the sick, governments scrambling for control while a virus turns humanity into its own worst enemy. It's a chilling thought experiment, yet one grounded in the real dynamics of viral evolution and human vulnerability. How close are we? The science says it's possible. Feel that chill creeping up your spine? The pieces are already in place. Nature's just waiting to roll the dice. Viruses are master shapeshifters, evolving constantly through mutation and natural selection, And rabies, though historically stable, isn't immune to change. In 2024, researchers at the Pasteur Institute reported rare cases of rabies-like viruses in bats exhibiting unusual transmission patterns, hinting that a small genetic tweak could push rabies into terrifying new territory. RNA viruses like rabies are particularly prone to mutation because their replication machinery is error-prone, a quirk that allows tiny changes to accumulate quickly. A 2022 study published in Nature Microbiology revealed that lyssavirus strains circulating in African bat populations had already developed minor genetic variations, suggesting the virus could, under the right conditions, acquire traits far beyond its traditional bite-based spread. Environmental triggers make this possibility even more chilling. As climate change and deforestation push humans closer to wildlife habitats, opportunities for zoonotic spillover increase. The 2019 Ebola outbreak in Congo, fueled by habitat destruction, showed just how quickly viruses can exploit human intrusion into natural spaces. A rabies variant with enhanced transmissibility could follow a similar path, jumping from animals to humans and potentially spreading with terrifying efficiency. Then there's human vulnerability. Dense urban centers, global travel networks, and crowded public transport, features of modern life that once made COVID-19 a global crisis, could turn into conduits for a hyper-contagious rabies variant. Airports, subways, and marketplaces might become unwitting arenas of infection, accelerating the outbreak in ways traditional rabies never could. Every element, the virus's genetic flexibility, ecological disruption, and human connectivity, lines up like dominoes waiting to fall. Imagine a world where a once-contained virus learns to spread like wildfire, igniting fear, chaos, and survival instincts at a scale previously confined to fiction. The thought alone is enough to make you glance nervously at the shadows outside your window. The apocalypse unfolds. Let's paint the scene. It's 2030 and a strange outbreak begins in a quiet rural town. A farmer, bitten by a stray dog, starts behaving erratically within days. He attacks his family, who then unknowingly spread the infection. By the time authorities notice, it's too late. The virus is airborne, slipping through crowded markets, schools, and public buses. You're trapped in your apartment, listening to screams echo down the streets. The news flashes images of infected people, eyes wild, movements jerky, primal, and they overrun entire neighborhoods. This isn't fiction. This is a rabies apocalypse. In the first week, cases ignite across the globe. Hospitals are swamped with patients exhibiting rabies-like symptoms, fever, confusion, violent outbursts. Doctors are baffled. Standard treatments fail. By the second week, society collapses under the strain. The infected attack indiscriminately, biting and scratching without reason. Unlike cinematic zombies, these are humans, brains hijacked, instincts overridden, relentless in spreading the virus. Power grids falter, supply chains snap, and everyday life becomes impossible. By the end of the first month, cities resemble war zones. Governments impose martial law, but militaries are overwhelmed. The infected don't plan, they simply swarm, drawn to noise and movement. Survivors retreat to bunkers or remote hideouts, scavenging desperately for food, water, and weapons. Panic spreads faster than the virus itself. A year in, the world is transformed. Populations are decimated. Survivors huddle in fortified communities, wary of every sound, every shadow. The virus mutates, leaping into new hosts, birds, livestock, even pets, making eradication nearly impossible. Civilization as it was known is gone, replaced by a fractured, brutal new reality. This isn't just a nightmare scenario. History proves pandemics reshape societies. The Black Death wiped out nearly half of Europe in the 14th century. A global rabies outbreak could be far deadlier, turning everyday life into a fight for survival, where the most basic instincts, hunger, fear, violence, rule the streets, and humanity itself is tested to its limits. Could we stop it? Let's talk survival. Could humanity actually fight back if a zombie rabies plague swept the globe? The odds aren't great, but all hope isn't lost. Early detection would be the first line of defense. Cutting-edge diagnostics like CRISPR-based tests developed in 2023 could identify infections before they explode into outbreaks. The catch? It demands unprecedented global cooperation and funding, something the 2020 pandemic painfully proved we often lack. Next comes vaccines and antivirals. Scientists could race to develop a vaccine, and mRNA technology, the same breakthrough behind COVID-19 vaccines, might accelerate the process. Yet distributing doses in a collapsing society could be a nightmare. Quarantine and containment offer another line of defense, but an airborne virus doesn't care about borders. The 2021 Delta variant of COVID-19 showed just how relentless a highly transmissible pathogen can be. So what's left? Survivor tactics. Small armed groups in remote areas, mountains, islands, or hidden forests might outlast the chaos. Stockpiling food, water, and weapons becomes not just smart but essential. Think The Walking Dead, but stripped of Hollywood exaggeration. Science is your guide, not luck. Can you outsmart a virus that turns your friends and family into monsters? The clock is ticking, and civilization is crumbling. Every decision could be life or death. Your plan isn't optional, it's survival. The cultural impact. Even if a rabies apocalypse never happens, the idea grips us. Why? Because zombies tap into primal fears, loss of self, betrayal by our own bodies, and societal collapse. From Night of the Living Dead to The Last of Us, zombie stories warn us about our fragility. A real rabies plague would amplify those fears, forcing us to confront our mortality and the thin line between civilization and chaos. Ever wonder why we're obsessed with zombies? It's because deep down, we know nature can turn on us. Rabies is proof, a virus that's already halfway to zombification. In conclusion, a rabies-fueled zombie apocalypse isn't here yet, but the science says it's possible. A few genetic tweaks, a bit of bad luck, and humanity could face a nightmare straight out of fiction. Rabies already has the tools: deadly, manipulative, and relentless. All it needs is a chance to evolve. So what's it gonna be? Will you be ready when the world turns feral? Or will you be another face in the horde? The choice is yours, but the virus doesn't care. Let's hope we never find out. Like what you saw? Subscribe, share your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more adventures. Thanks for watching.